Welcome back to the XR Remix Podcast on the Metaverse Mixtape channel. I'm live open mic. Got the fellas here with me. Let's start with, I'm just going to go in alphabetical, not alphabetical order because it's too late for me to be sitting here trying to figure that out.
It's too late for all that.
Clockwise from my position. JDun, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. You should have went, if you want to win in alphabetical order, we could have started with P because PSVR 2 is dead. I'm starting off every show this way.
Kill the podcast. Kill it. Done.
PlayStation
It's
VR
done.
2
It's
is
over.
dead. If you got to hook it up to a computer or stream games to it through a Steam Link client, it's dead. But anyway, hi everybody.
Talk about it.
It's your boy JDun. Good to be back with the fellas. Let's go.
Marty,
Come on
how
next.
you doing?
I know.
Man,
Guns
shout out
blazing.
Marty Dude VR. Shout out everybody. That messed my whole flow up, but we good.
Don't let him get at you
don't let
like
him-
that.
We gonna talk
Man,
about
Stand
it.
your
what I'm saying?
ground.
That's
We
why I
gonna
came in
talk about
Persona form, man. I'm ready. You know what I'm
it.
saying?
We'll talk about it. No, you feel me? But what you got, Clay?
Yeah, I am good. Hey, call me Clay in the building. I'm ready to talk some VR. This is one of my favorite times of the month. So glad to be hanging out with this squad here. And rounding out our crew, Mike, what has been new with you, friend?
Nah, man. This is kind of like the slow period for game releases generally, in flat and in VR. You know, last year we were spoiled by PSVR 2 and all the excitement that brought.
And,
but this
and,
year it's
and
kinda
now
like,
we know what it's like to be a
Oh,
PlayStation
okay.
VR 2 person because no games.
I've been kind of ragging on no games. I've been
No
ragging on
games.
PSVR 2. Not ragging, but like, questioning. And then we had our little segment. Marty and I did a little segment. We can have the discussion. We can have the discussion. I don't think it's dead.
Oh, things have
Yeah,
changed
I
though.
don't think it's that. Yeah.
Things have
I really
changed since
don't.
that discussion happened. Sorry, I was sitting there looking at the side window here. I'm not like JDun where everything's spatially arranged. And I can just like, what I'm saying.
Especially he just
His
I
real
got
house dirty now because he don't even live there no more.
Dude, I mean, honestly, bro. Nah, honestly.
All right, so two major points to hit on the PSVR 2 stuff. We'll just start there. One, Sony just fired 900 people.
yeah.
And before I
RIP.
get any further in that, to all those people who are being laid off, all, of course, well wishes. We hope you guys are able to land
Absolutely.
on
Yeah,
your feet
that's rough.
and find new
That's
work
a
for sure.
tough way to
That's
start the year off.
tens of thousands of people in the game industry in general, and that's gonna be a
Yeah.
later topic, are out of work right now or have been laid off. So that's scary times for sure.
Mhm.
But some of the people that Sony let go are from Fire Sprite. They did quite a bit of VR work, including
Yeah,
Horizon
Blood
Call
and
Them Out. Did a
Truth.
lot of work on that. Yep.
I called him out, I think.
Mm.
And then even though they're not in VR anymore, and this, I've had so many arguments with people in Discord about this. People from Insomniac Games were also let go. That's the wilder one. I really want to touch on that one deep outside of VR in a minute. But that's the wilder one to me because they're being very successful right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But on the PSVR side, and this is after Marty and Clay had their great discussion about everything, now it's looking like, to me, Fire Sprite was the only one that affected VR specifically because Insomniac hasn't made a VR game in 5 years, or has not shipped a VR game in 5 years. But it's still, they made successful properties. Calling Out was a launch title, and they're still cutting costs.
Yeah.
That's so for Marty and then for Clay as owners of the headset. How you feel about the future now as opposed to 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. I mean, because Call of the Mountain, I'm not the biggest fan of the game, to be honest with you. But to me, like, I don't see Call of the Mountain as one of those headset sellers for PSVR 2. And then too, Sony doesn't say anything about how it actually sold. So we don't know if it sold well or not. But I'm assuming if they got let go, it probably didn't sell that good. So that's it's telling. It's telling for sure. So
Yeah, that's layered. Is Call of the Mountain a system seller? I don't know if Sony has a system seller, but I don't know if Sony's plan was ever to have a system seller anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were hoping that Call of the Mountain could have been it because it is one of the bigger franchises, right? Like we're talking Horizon Zero Dawn. The Horizon universe is really one of the pinnacle,
Right.
like cornerstones of like the Sony like layout, like all the intros. They have Aloy on there, right? So it's not necessarily not a system seller, but I really think that the success of the PSVR 2 what needed to happen was really, really strong marketing And I will always say this, there needs to be like a reasonable value proposition. And I think Sony's issue right now is that it is very much solely gaming. They didn't really invest in any entertainment side of the house for the PSVR 2, which I think was a big miss for folks to want to continue to put that headset on.
Or
And so
social
with the
apps. Social apps too. Like
Social
not
right,
even
apps,
within
yeah.
VR. You know what I'm saying? VR
exactly,
chat.
right. And so, you know, and that's where currently Meta's sort of no Meta and Apple right now. I'm kind of playing this battle in my mind because I don't have a Vision Pro, but Apple's capitalizing on the entertainment side of the house, the productivity side of the house. Meta still has the biggest set of studios, game production, system there, and Sony is trying to figure out a way to catch up. I think that they might have just, like many of us in the VR space, just missed the estimates and had really poor expectations on how well these things would sell. I'm hearing rumors that the AVP is selling better than expected. I'm skeptical, but I don't know, right?
Depends on what was expected. If they expected to ship 100,000, they showed 125. That's still better than expected.
That's better than
That's
expected.
that's
Percentages
true. I
sound
mean,
better than numbers. You could say we outsold our expectations by 25%.
Yeah.
Or
like
could
you
say we
only
sold
expected to sell 3
Yeah.
though, bro.
No, like
Man.
Didn't they sell out? Oh my
so
God.
for the Apple Vision Pro, the estimate that was given was they were only expecting to sell about 150 to 200,000. They did that in the first weekend, and
Yeah,
so they've
crazy.
increased capacity. And then there was a big, huge story that was blown out of proportion about return rates, and now it's come back that
Yeah,
Yeah,
way
yeah.
blown
return
out.
rates were like less than like around 1%. So it's like, now that being said, I saw people like my good friend Matt BMF said he's returning. He's selling his Apple Vision Pro. A lot of people are taking theirs
On
back.
eBay.
I've talked to a ton of VR veterans, XR folks who are like way up there doing stuff at different companies, and they're like, "Yeah, I took mine back," and I'm like, "Oh man, that's crazy," And so, believe me, we were at a line at one point. Me and Joy with both of these, we have two of them. So imagine there was a Dalton moment like, we could take one of these back.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it is $4,000.
Yeah,
but
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna tell you guys, the more you take on the vision of it, and I don't want this to be about the Vision Pro as we talking about Sony, but the more you take on the vision of it, honestly, the more you begin to realize this device can augment a lot of things for me that the Quest 3 just never did. So I could never do this, what I'm doing right now in the Quest 3, unless they start letting us have the avatar show up in different calls that way. I could have done it through Immerse, but it would be, it's a lot of cumbersome pieces, and I didn't want to go through all of those things. So, but no, when I think about PlayStation VR 2, I joke a lot about it, but it saddens me because Sony is the game console that most people, when it comes to PlayStation, that brand that's it. Xbox kind of lost that battle, and I'm an Xbox person, and I can say that straight up. Xbox lost that battle. So
they got white.
yeah. So
Microsoft basically just said it.
yeah, so seeing, PSVR 2 not winning the way it could have, and me knowing so many people in the VR space who are content creators came from the PlayStation VR era, that was the thing that jumped this thing off for a lot of people.
It did.
So seeing it in their second time around come around, as much as I joke about it, it saddens me because I really wanted Sony to win. I wanted there to be more competition in the gaming area.
I did too. I will say, to kind of round out my thoughts, I think PSVR is on life support officially. I think that while we are excited about the news for the PSVR 2 to come to PC and people are excited about that, I think that it is a way to hide that they're trying to pull off last-ditch efforts of profitability. They're trying to give it a wider scope. Right now, it was just being able to play PS5 games. They're trying to give it a wider scope so that it's a little bit more appetizing. I question its success. I don't think, this is me saying this from my opinion, but I don't believe categorically it's a better PC VR headset either, candidly.
No.
Even the tech inside was great if it was just exclusive to the PS5. It does not hold its weight in water if you bring it to PC. There are better and cheaper headsets that will do that.
100%.
So, I don't know.
Got 2 points. Got 2 points. One, real quick on the AVP point, because Jay talked about people taking it back. I'm going back to what Clay said. It's a value proposition. You know, people are trying to evaluate the value proposition at $550 for a PSVR 2. You're talking almost 7 times that cost. That is a much, much higher barrier to clear in terms of, does this bring value to my life to justify keeping it? That's kind of my thought process on why, however many returns there are, it could be 1%, 10%, whatever. That's why I think that's happening, because people are looking at that like, is this going to bring value to me long term? Is this going to be something I'm going to put on every day?
Mm-hmm.
The answer is no. I totally understand that. Second, on the PC front, and this, I've kind of turned around on the PC VR bits of it, because yeah, it's not a top tier PC VR headset, but it's a $550 VR headset. And tell me, for $1,000, so for the PlayStation 5 and for the headset, tell me one that's going to have OLED, eye tracking, those adaptive triggers, and head haptics for $1,000, and its own separate library for $1,000. That doesn't exist. The Vive Pro Eye is like $1,700. The Pimax Crystal is like, what, $1,600, something like that. So if you need to get into eye tracking, unless you want to go Quest Pro, and a lot of people don't want to touch Meta, you know, it has that value to it.
This is when I know this is like way out there, but if they can harness the power of PlayStation 5 to be like the actual compute for the games from Steam, like you can load Steam on it and play PC VR games locally from the PlayStation 5. That's a whole nother game now, because that's a gaming PC level that a lot of people don't have. Like, you know, you'd be surprised. A lot of people don't have even a 30 series. You know,
I had a 1050.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. A lot of us don't have that. Like, I have a 1660 Ti in one of my machines. Like, it's not the most powerful VR machine in the world. It can run some VR stuff, but it's not a 4090. So if the PlayStation 5 could run those things locally, now we're talking about a whole nother game. But more than likely, it's probably not.
It's gonna be.
And I like that thinking. Yeah, the reality is, when I first started regularly gaming, much more active in gaming, I didn't have a gaming PC until like 2 or 3 years after my PlayStation. Like, when I first started streaming, I was streaming from an old 2012 Mac Mini that was in my closet. That's what I had, right?
Wow.
So if you're going to say to me, hey, the PlayStation VR 2 now has PC capability, I'm like, that's not for me, because I don't have that, right? And so to your point, Jay, it works well for people who have both, but what is that segment of people, right? So
you buy a PlayStation 5 so you don't have to do computer gaming. I mean, that was to be the whole.
That was the point.
You know?
That was the point.
That was my whole thing for like my review. I was like, this isn't meant for like. I don't see anybody with a PC and or Quest being interested in PSVR, because if you have a Quest, you're okay with a certain level of graphic, and if you have PC VR, then you want a certain level of graphic. So it's like, that's why I said in my review, it's like, this is meant for people who are new to VR, don't want to get a PC, don't want to get a Quest, and just want like just a general VR headset.
High quality gaming. It's just,
but I don't, for anybody else, I don't think I've never been like, if somebody come on stream and be like, hey bro, I get a Quest or get a PS or get a PSVR 2. I'm like, okay, what do you have? They're like, okay, I have PC.
But here's another part. Now, I know dev side, Mike, you could talk a lot more about this. I've heard so many horror stories about Sony being like this walled garden when it comes down to trying to get games on the platform. Like, how many reviews, like, and Quest has actually been the savior, where, you know, when at one time it wasn't. Like, it's harder to get on PlayStation than any other platform right now. So, and I know that's their seal of approval, but then you get like a game like that's running like crap, that looks like basically a worse version of a Quest game on the PlayStation VR 2, and it's like, what happened? You know, where's the quality at? So, I don't know.
And I had heard that I don't think I said it again, but a recent release had a legitimate issue where their dev kit was different than the actual console.
Oh,
so the game came out with projection, then it was supposed to. Yeah, it was bad. I was like, damn. I was like, that's crazy.
So we're on the same page. Does anyone think this PC compatibility will be take your headset and plug it into your PC? We're all on the same page that it's going to be wireless through your PS5, right?
Happen, bro.
My statement is that it better be to survive.
I don't see that, man.
But
because if the guy who's been working on this for like a year said no, I'm like,
if they do that, then what's the point of buying the PlayStation 5? when this is about to be it's about being an accessory for your PlayStation 5. So
yep,
that's my point.
and
It
Sony's
makes no
whole
sense for Sony.
strategy this whole time was build things that sell more PS5s. That's what makes me concerned about it. And so now we're trying to create this like cross compatibility thing. I don't know. I don't have much hope. I will still use it, but I don't have much hope.
Yeah.
Like I think it's going to be a Steam Link app, just like we got for Quest.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a Steam Link app for the Sony store, and then you just wirelessly connect to your PC. It's not going to be cloud computing or cloud PC gaming because that's not a thing yet. I think we're probably years away from the wireless capability and everything being ready for that at a decent level. So yeah, glad we're on the same page about that because we don't need to have that discussion about the extra hardware that's needed and any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I think that's the easy one. But we'll spend time after the podcast. I'm curious about the Steam Link thing, how we think about it, but we can move on.
Other thing I want to hit, and this comes back to the unfortunate layoffs, is just the state of the gaming industry in general. Like I've heard sales of like roughly 1.3 million PSVR 2 units, just to kind of bring it back to that. There's 20 million, more than that now, Quest units out there. But the attach rate to games is not that high. People think, oh, there's 20 million units or there's 50 million PS5 sold or there's 157, I think, million Switches sold. My game's going to sell like hotcakes if it gets hot. Meanwhile, Nintendo's doing backflips that Mario Kart has sold 68 million units. That's less than half of the Switches that exist in the world. You know, if you ever hear a game in VR selling 1 million units, those devs are like, oh my God, that's fantastic. Great job. Pats on the back. Yeah. There's only one developer that has shipped 2 games, more than one game that has sold 1 million units. One developer. It's Alchemy Labs. Vacation Simulator, Job Simulator are the only 2 games under the same banner that sold over 1 million units each.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
what? Not even Beat Saber? Oh, he's at 2.
Yeah. Beat Games only has just Beat Saber and that's it. So I'm saying, like, in terms of devs that have multiple multi-million unit sold properties, Alchemy Labs is it. I said that sentence terribly. I might need to record that. But whatever. It's all good. It's a podcast. So the attach rate is not that high right now. And a lot of people, I mean, Marty, you'll understand this because you play a lot of shooters. A lot of people find their same 4 to 5, 6 games that they like and never leave them. How many people do we know in VR that never made it past Beat Saber?
Oh yeah, bro.
Or Synth Riders or Gorilla Tag or whatever. Like they have their games that they make. Pop 1 is a big one for that.
Oh yeah.
I know someone who literally has Beat Saber and Onward, and those are the only games he's ever installed on this Quest. He's had this as Quest 1.
Yeah.
Do Quest 2 and Quest 3. Those are the only 2 games he owns. There are a lot less of people like us who buy a shit ton of games and, you know, are interested in every single game that's coming. Then there are people who just are, well, I guess what we call casuals. They buy a handful of games, and this is every single console.
Yeah.
This is every single console. This is PC, where they have their same 5 or 6 games that they kind of hover between, and that's it. And I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these firings happening, because these expectations and these $300 million budgets for Spider-Man 2, which we'll talk about Insomniac in a minute. So where you at on the state of gaming in general, basically? We're all gamers. We've all been gamers for a very, very long time. Where are you on the state of gaming now, just in general, as opposed to where you would have seen during the pandemic 10 years ago when you were a kid? Like, how you feeling about it now?
I'll let y'all go first because I got something to say on that, but I'm going to let y'all go first.
All right. We're going reverse order. Clay, lead off.
Yeah, I'm actively thinking about it. If I think about this in reverse, the layoffs happened because there was some missed expectation about profitability, right? Which means that either our games are becoming too expensive and they're just not selling as well, or maybe that's just it, right? And so if I think through that, it does make me feel like we're probably at some interesting inflection point that is stemming from the success of the pandemic, because the pandemic lifted a lot of boats upward, right? People were home, people were shopping more, people were, Peloton's a good example of that. People were working out in their homes. There was a rise of all of this tide for all things where you stayed at home.
Zoom blew up during the pandemic,
right? And we're seeing companies, including like Meta, Google, Amazon, that were first wave of these layoffs post-pandemic. And those companies are still continuing, some tech companies continue to do that. And I think now we're seeing that same wave hit, that layoff wave hit in gaming. So I think that we're at this weird recalibration point. Do I worry about the success or the future of gaming? No, but I do think that we're getting a punch in the face right now to slow things down and reevaluate what our expectations are. Because I think that's the theme of the last couple of podcasts and talks that we've had is, even Ubisoft was upset about Assassin's Creed, and I'm playing that right now, and I'm like, this is a fantastic game. We don't have caliber of games like this, but they were upset about this success of that. So it just seems like this common thing of misinterpreted expectations, and I think that we're just hitting that wave right now of what we're realizing here.
I'm gonna plug 3 videos real quick. Number 1, watch Marty's PSVR 2 year 1 video. Number 2, watch Marty's IGN video, because IGN, the savior, those VR, experts over at IGN wrote a great article.
Marty got a whole cult going on there. He got a whole cult going on.
Bro, Marty said the woke media. I was like, what the That was crazy. That was a wild.
And then to what Clay just alluded to, I did a video on my channel about the Assassin's Creed Nexus expectations from Ubisoft. So just check that one out too.
Yes.
All right, my bad.
Video.
All right, appreciate it. Marty, what you got?
I feel like there's like a big disconnect between like 3 parties, right? So we got the game devs, the corpos, and then like the consumer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, because we've seen like games like Helldivers take off, Lethal Company, and I think what the kind of the corpos want to get off in terms of like making all these live service games that nobody's really asking for, versus making
Skull and
narrative
Bones
basic games, Skull and Bones, quadruple A game that nobody asked for. Of course, there's going to be expectations missed on the corporate side, but I think right now people are realizing people just want like fun games. So like that's why Helldivers is taking off. Like it has microtransactions, but like they're so cheap and not pushed in your face that I actually went out of my way just to get some just to support the developer, because I was like, y'all cool. So I'm gonna get some from the store. They don't even do that for a lot of games. Power World, like it's just like these fun games, bro. I feel like right now we're getting to the point where we're getting back to fun games. Like the whole past year, to me, all the games that like took off were like legitimately fun. They weren't like, here, let me rob your pockets, like Suicide Squad, Live Service.
We can name so many of those games right now. Suicide Squad,
it's like
Skull and Bones, Redfall, Anthem,
Redfall. Yep.
Let's go.
Long list of them. Immortals Avium. Like there's a lot of games. Well, that one was Live Service, which is boring.
I want to know who slotted that game to release. I want to know who picked Avium's release day and was like,
and that's the thing. We're seeing these studios who make these type of games go under, and people are like, how? Nobody asked for it. And so I think once corporate gets their heads out their butts, and I think once they really start listening to the game devs and actually listening to the consumer, we're gonna see a lot less of this. And then too, even with like the layoffs, there's a lot of corporate games being played there, because I mean, and you know how this goes. A lot of times they overhire during times like they overhire a lot, and so eventually you can't pay for these people because you didn't have 4 or 5 failed projects in the same year. So it's like, of course, somebody gonna have to get cut, and it's not gonna be the people up top. So it's gonna be the game developers and the teams. So it's a lot of nasty games being played, but I feel like at the end of the day, I feel like there's a lot of disconnect. I don't think gaming is like down or anything like that. I don't think that.
No, I'm not saying that. Just
yeah.
I think regular game devs have to pay the price for like people messing up top. That's what I think, personally.
Yeah. Jay, what you got, man? Okay, I let you sign that.
Okay.
Yeah, you better rap.
This is still a tough one, because you're saying stuff and I'm like, I'm still letting it simmer. But
there's 2 sides to this. Being in the Apple Vision Pro, which is kind of funny, I'm having to and there's really not no games here. But what I'm doing, and I mean, it is a drought.
Like
a drought.
Okay.
Every time there's a new game, even if it's $20, you like downloading because it's like, look, I can shoot from here to here because ain't nothing else. Okay, but check this out.
Yeah,
it's like PSVR 2 fans. My bad.
Yes,
my bad. Go ahead.
Yes. But what has happened is, and it was heavy in my review, or our review, was this resurgence of falling back in love with like mobile games, right? And that's one area a lot of us on this particular VR, talking about VR, we don't pay a lot of attention to mobile games. that area is booming like a mud. Like that.
Boy,
Look, I just
crazy.
Warframe just
Yeah.
launched on iOS and Android, which
Mhm.
is a big title from there. You know, you got Death Stranded launched on iOS. Like, there's a lot of things happening on the mobile side, which is like super crazy. That's like, I'm like, wow, it's really booming here. And there's this links to the reason why, and this whole point we're talking about. I'm in Horizon. I'm in Roblox. I'm in Rec Room. I'm looking at these kids. We're the old guys now. Okay, all right. We're the old crowd.
Yeah,
100%.
Where kids
100%.
are not, their attention span. When you go into Roblox, there's 16,000 worlds to, probably more than that, to explore. Okay, so you're like, I think that's just the VR related worlds. It's probably even more than that on the regular platform. You go to, they have a new thing launching every day to catch their attention. We're the ones that's looking for still looking for Super Mario Wonders and like games that's gonna like make us be like, 60-hour gameplay. Just give me that. Kids don't care about those things.
Yeah.
So the problem is that we're talking about a topic. We're like EA and all these companies. They're making the big games that's for us, but the kids, the money is the kids. So a lot of people are having to pivot to the kid side, and that's really where we're at. So when you think about VR, the most popular games on there is Gorilla Tag and games that are made more for kids,
The free ones,
especially the free ones.
Yeah.
So we just have to think about that. Like, Helldivers is winning because only reason why I believe like games like Power World and Helldivers is winning is for one or two reasons. It's number one, all of us who are the older crowd is like, I got the Pokemon that's for adults. Thank you. You know,
Yes,
so
sir.
that works for Power World. And then Helldivers is a refreshing take on something that has been done a million times, but just done right.
Yep.
And here's the thing, and I'm going to
Right,
end it because this is where I ended at. It's the indie developers' time, where it's a refresh starting here. We're starting over. A new EA is being born right now. A new Ubisoft is being born right now. It's to tear down the IBMs, and here come Apple and Microsoft. We're starting over. So everything has to burn down first to start back over. So I think it's just the indies' time now. Yeah.
And I hope that's true, because I do believe that, especially with a lot of indie studios, they do have to create a lot of, they put a lot more love, I would say, into their game, because they they want it to just feel like just a love project for them, right? Like I even played like Sea of Stars on the Steam Deck, and was it a was it like this blockbuster Spider-Man 2? Not at all, but I fell in love with that game because you can feel the love that was put into it. This little pixel RPG won my heart.
I'm about to
last
pick
year.
it up right now.
It's such a great game, right? So I'm hoping that we're coming back to that. And guess what? Those guys don't have expectations to what Mike said. It's like, man, if you sell 1 million copies, they're ecstatic, because at the end of the day, they cared about putting a really great passion project out to the world. So I hope it's the indies' time. I really do, and I want to see more of that.
1 million.
And to your point earlier about mobile
studio.
gaming,
Sorry, go ahead.
I just looked it up. The stat: half of the revenue generated by games in 2022 was mobile games. So
Those
if you
gotcha
break that
games,
down to like, there's consoles and PC games and all of that, half of it, $92 billion, was mobile games. So you might be onto something.
So I got several points to respond. One, a lot of VR devs came from mobile too. So they have that background. Would not surprise me if we saw them start to maybe float back in that direction.
I mean, you see Walkabout Mini Golf coming back to iOS, and they originally started as an iOS prototype.
Resolution, same thing with Demio. They're getting Demio on every platform.
I love Demio.
Two, the gaming industry is in this weird conundrum now, because Marty's the youngest guy on the call, but the rest of us are in our 40s. We've grown up with this industry. Like we started with, Atari and television, then NES, Sega Master System, all the way up. And the industry grew up with us.
Yes.
So all these companies are like, okay, this is the generation we came up with. There are the guys who are making all these games are guys our age. So there are guys who came up just like us who love these games and are continuing to make those, but also still needing to serve a different master, to what Jay was talking about. of we got to capture the next generation and get them addicted the way Sony and not even Sony for maybe like Marty's age, but like for me, Jay and Clay, I'm talking about Nintendo and Sega, the way they hooked us when we were kids and got us in there, and we've been lifelong fans. We might have sold it to other companies, but we've been lifelong gamers because of those two companies. What's really pulling them now is Roblox. You know what I'm saying? It's Minecraft.
And Fortnite.
See, that's the thing. We didn't even touch. Fortnite is killing. I mean, it's just killing.
Crushing it.
If they put Fortnite in VR somehow, it's over. I swear to God, it's over.
So I'm of the mind that like the game industry is trying to serve two different masters right now. The people who want the $300 million Spider-Man 2s and still trying to, but not selling enough to scale to pay for, number one, that license, number two, that $300 million budget and all that stuff. So even though that game has sold 10 million copies, that's $700 million in revenue, and it's Sony, so it's not like they're paying Steam fees right now, 30% to Steam. So they pocketed all that money, made back twice their budget, and still had to let people go. Yep. So profit margins aren't there yet. I read an article that said like the ROI had to be like 35% for that game. For Spider-Man Miles Morales, it was 122% because the licensing fee was lower and the budget was lower. But yeah, the game industry feels like they're trying to get games into the next generation to hook them in and maybe pull them away from the Minecrafts or Robloxes of the world and try to say, okay, we want a piece of that pie while still trying to keep us, I would call us like gaming boomers at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because we were the first generation.
I can't be too mad at you.
Yeah, but we're going to, I know, but we're going to age out. In 10, 15 years, are we still going to be playing games and buying games at the same clip we are now? Probably not. When we're all pushing 60, are we still buying 3-4 games a month?
No.
And tearing through them? No.
Yeah. Well, you know, I
mean, you just gave everybody an existential crisis, so thanks.
Yeah, and then I feel, you know, I haven't hit 40 yet. I'm actually 38.
Oh, my bad.
I'm talking about to turn 38 in like a couple of days, actually. On the
My bad.
Oh, the youngins.
They know you're 38.
I'm about to turn 38. Yeah.
Wait, let's change the topic of this podcast. I'm sorry,
He's
what?
like,
bro, I thought you were like 20 something.
Hey, I appreciate. Yes. Yeah, I'm about to turn
Black don't
38
crack.
on March 17th, man. St. Patrick's Day.
Black don't crack.
Man.
Bro, that is ridiculous.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
man.
Look, man.
That's
I'm gonna tell you
crazy.
the secret to success, man. Play a lot of video games, make love, make love and prosper, baby. That's it.
That's
I'm just
it.
gonna point out that Marty. I'm just gonna point out that Marty didn't say me and Clay look young. He just went.
I know.
Yeah,
I
I mean, I thought y'all were all like
I think that just went over.
late
He just went over his
20s,
head when he said, you know, all of us are in the 40s. I'm just like, and I just sitting here like, and I'm like, wait. I'm not in my 40s just yet. I'm
My bad.
I'm right there.
When I
My
heard
bad.
Play was like, I thought Play was 20
But
something. Like this whole time.
Nintendo,
before.
Sega, I was there for all of it. So yes, I mean, even Atari for a little bit of that. So yeah, I was there.
Yeah. So how are you know? Again, we're serving two different masters now in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we hook?
What do you
How do we hook
concentrate
those
on?
kids into VR?
If I knew
I
that,
think,
that'd be
honestly, the best
I
way
hate
is-
Gorilla Tag. So,
But that's where they're at,
maybe
buddy.
that's just me.
That's where
That
they're
Gorilla
at.
Tag
That's
has
where
made
they at. That's where they at.
Gorilla Tag as of last year has made $26 million. They've done it.
Yeah.
They've got the formula right.
Mm-hmm.
And look how
I
many
think
clones.
they done right. They done it right. Because even like because I have like Boy Scouts.
Mhm.
Like my Scouts, all they talk about Fortnite, 2K, and
Man, hold
Roblox.
you do scouting, man?
yeah, I'm a
learning
Scout
so
master.
Okay, wait a minute.
We
You know, a
learn so
scout
much
is
right now.
trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. I'm an Eagle Scout, man. So shout out to the Scout masters, man. You know what I'm talking about?
Shout out to the Scouts,
Yeah, man. I'm with
Yes,
that.
sir.
I'm with it. I love it.
Yeah, I got a troop of boys, but they mostly that's the 3 games they rotate between. That's like the trifecta right there. So
Yeah, man.
And note, that's
Yeah,
3
bro.
games. They're not
3
talking about any
games.
new games that are coming up. They're not talking about I saw this trailer for this game or this, that, and the other thing. They're not
Oh, yeah,
watching
them-
the Game
them-
Awards and watching the
Them teams
not
is
doing
on
that.
2K all day, bro. They own that 2K all day, man.
Yeah.
2K.
All day.
Like, I got homies who they said if the 2K went to VR, they would actually get it, and I was like, okay, well y'all not getting it because it's a while.
Yeah, gym class is not 2K. As good as gym class is, it's not 2K. So
that's funny.
yeah,
Oh.
so that's why I want to come back on the Spider-Man point because I was stuck on this for a second. This might end up getting cut. Spider-Man's budget was $300 million. I read a full fascinating article right after the Insomniac layoffs happened. They said Spider-Man 2's budget was $300 million. And Sony only had an ROI, that's return on investment, for those who don't know, is what ROI stands for, of 35% on that game, basically meaning that they only expected to make 35 cents on the dollar for every game that they sold. Miles Morales was 122%, basically saying we gave this game a smaller budget, but it's Spider-Man. We knew the IP was going to be worth it, so we expected this game to make a ton of money, and it did. So even though those games, Miles Morales did not sell as well as Spider-Man 2 did, but from a profit standpoint, it was more successful. And then, I mean, so I think the other inflection point we're hitting is these big budgets are going to stop, because a lot of these big budgets a lot of these big budget games got started during the pandemic, and got hired and they hired all these people during the pandemic. These games take, those massive games, Baldur's Gate 3, even though that game was only $100 million, those games started 3-4 years ago. So, we were in the pandemic 3 or 4 years ago.
Are you saying there's no Grand Theft Auto coming to Quest?
Yeah, I'm leaving too. I'm following Marty. See you guys. Great talk. I
was so bro, I'm so tired of people ask that, bro. Oh my god.
Going back to the actual topic at hand, I agree with Mike that these budgets have to stop at a certain point. 300 million, even though they made money hand over foot, I think that businesses will be challenged to do more with less in order to recalibrate with less.
Let's put money on these indies, man. They got the right idea.
A good gameplay loop, roguelites, especially in VR. I mean, give me roguelite.
No,
give
please.
Me guns.
No more wave shooters, please. No more roguelites.
Zombies for the win.
Give me multiplayer. Give me multiplayer. Give me multiplayer. And I'm good.
Honestly, yeah.
All right, coming up on the end, so that we all have a heart out. So coming up on the end, let's wrap up with a couple things. Number one, what are you playing right now? Marty, what you playing right now?
Right now I'm playing Still. Still I actually really like Still. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know what it is about the games where you go like this. It's not Gorilla Tag. No, I'm not playing it. But the other ones, yeah, Out of Hand, still pretty cool. But other than that, I gotta play Genotype. I got a lot of reviews coming up, so
you're playing Genotype.
I'm playing it on stream tomorrow, so I gotta play the PC VR version. I gotta hop in.
Because I played it before they had all the Quest 3 patch update. I played it before the combat update, so I'm curious to see the improvements to that game.
Yeah, so I want to hop in on the PC VR version. But other than that, it's just future reviews after that.
Okay, Clay, what you playing right now?
On tap right now is Assassin's Creed Nexus. I'm having an absolute blast with the movement in that game. Everything just feels so good in Assassin's Creed Nexus. I know I'm late to the party. I know everyone else played it last year. I'm here for it. I'm having a blast with that. The next up after that will be Madison in VR or Resident Evil 4 remake on PC VR. So PSVR 2. So I will be. You said
it right the first time.
I will be coming back to the PSVR 2 for Resident Evil for sure. Debating on if I want to do that for Madison, just to kind of continue to
get some usage out of it.
Get some usage out of it. Justify my $600 purchase.
Yeah, you got a paperweight right now.
It's so bad.
Caked in cobwebs.
Right.
Jay, what you playing right now?
Well, man, since I've been in Apple Vision Pro land since the review, I really hadn't touched almost all February.
Solitaire.
Barely touched the Quest 3. Not because I didn't want to, just I wanted to be really focused on trying to get the understanding of this headset. But I did get a chance to beta test. There are a lot of VR first games coming, like Job Simulator, Vacation Simulator are coming from Alchemy Labs. Just Hoops from Realcast. It's coming to the platforms. I'm actually been beta testing that, which is all hand tracking arcade hoops, which is kind of cool. Been doing that. But honestly, being honest, guys, I've been playing a whole bunch of flat gaming in here, and it's the best experience ever. Once again, being able to multitask, have the music playing, and have my game up, and playing Xbox Cloud gaming with my wife. We could be playing. She could be in her Quest. I could be there, so she could be in a Vision Pro. We put both in the Vision Pro, playing Xbox Cloud gaming. So it's just been like a refining. Like Sea of Stars is love story to me. It's like a new Chrono Trigger for me.
It was
Yeah,
really
Ooh,
good.
so
ooh,
So good.
yeah, so it's
ooh! You just said the magic
no,
word,
yeah,
magic phrase for
Chrono
me,
Trigger
It's
is
good.
like
man.
it's the RPG magic, and the graphics are perfect. They're gorgeous. Of that 16-bit, once again pulls at our hearts for those who are from that era. So that's what it's been, man. And of course, like you said, solitaire. Shout out to
He's like
Resolution
Clash of
Games.
Clans.
Resolution Games has a game room on here. You can actually play it on your phone, tablet, or the Vision Pro. But been playing a lot of that. Me and my wife,
Oh,
we play Sea Battle. It's basically Battleship. It's really cool.
Hmm.
It's really nice. But yeah, just relearning how to fall back in love with just regular gaming, man. While also getting excited about this month, because this month is packed for Quest. So it's a lot coming for Quest this month.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit that. That's gonna be the last thing we dismount on. Real quick for me, one, I got a video series going on the YouTube channel. I'm revisiting every game I can get my hands on. I got a Quest 3 update. So that'll be an ongoing series. So right now I'm doing roguelites on my Twitch channel right now because I've been very outspoken that I'm not a big roguelite fan. I think the gameplay loops are not fun. So because we're in a bit of a period where I pretty much cleared my backlog and there's not a whole lot coming, there hasn't been a whole lot that came out, although I did play the Titanic game. That I was excited about. It's like, all right, so this month I'm just playing all roguelikes on my channel. I got roasted on next because I dared to leave off Underdogs and the Light Brigade off a promotional image that wasn't even every single game on the list that I'm playing. And
I'm
yeah,
still
people
mad
came
about the
at me
Light
for that.
Brigade though. Come on, that's premium
I still need to
roguelikes.
play that. I still gotta play that. I have not.
The thing about the Light Brigade, and I'll just say this because it's going to come back to the marketing point. What we did is we watched 17 or 18 trailers on my
That's
channel.
right. I remember that.
We watched every single one of them, and I let them rate. The Light Brigade was the second lowest rated trailer, and that's how I picked. I'm not going to say what the lowest game was, but it was the second lowest rated trailer. Doesn't matter. It's not an indictment on the game itself.
No,
just the way that they presented the marketing, it didn't really
Yeah.
grab people. They were like, that looks just like a straight wave shooter. That's how I came
because
off
there
to
are
everything.
some really great marketing trailers with awful games.
That might need to be a video for us, Clay. We might need to sit
Hey,
down and
that'd
just
be a
have
good
that.
video.
Talking about just doing some trailer reviews.
We might have to. Honestly, I'll do that
Yeah.
with you. I'll
Yeah,
collab
Piss
with you
some
on that
people
one.
off, boy.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to.
I think it's a learning
Woo.
exercise because if we want to sell games, we can't put out crappy trailers.
Absolutely.
You know,
Or trailers
period.
that lie. I got a game that I need to talk about, but it'll be in private because I'm not trying to burn any bridges right now. So we have that conversation.
It's like, are the initials of the game PT?
No. Shh. Nope, not there. But no, we so yeah, just roguelites, going through a bunch of those. I finally did the roguelite mode in NASCAR's Wrath 2. I spent over 100 hours in that game, never touched the roguelite mode, didn't care about it. Finally played that. Now after I got some keys set to me, I have 11 more games to play this month and make content on, so that'll be a lot of fun. I'm trying to 100% NASCAR's Wrath 2, and I'm going to revisit Genotype straight through start to finish because I played like Clay did the original Quest 2 build. So I've not been back in that game since the Quest 3 update. So that'll get its own separate re-review video. I love what Marty did, but he's revisiting games that he already played.
I love
seeing
that.
the improvements with it. I love that. So I'm gonna blatantly rip it off from my channel.
My man.
So, yeah. All right. Final question. We'll dismount on this. We only got a few minutes left. What are you excited about? We'll go back to Jay. He kind of touched on it.
Man.
What are you excited about? What's coming up in the VR world? That you're
man, it's a lot coming. There's one game, and I know it's gonna sound really funny, like I'm joking, but I'm really excited about it. Lawnmower Simulator.
Wow.
I'm done.
No.
I'm done. That's how we're dismounting. Good night, everybody.
Guys, like I'm really excited about Lawnmower Simulator. It's me and my wife. We enjoyed Power Wash Simulator so much, and so I don't cut my own grass. I pay for somebody to cut my grass, but I will get in here. I'm gonna put some music on. I'm gonna
Mike, what's that face?
I'm gonna
let
jam
him cook.
I want to just be on a big tractor and just ride the wave, man. Let me be me, man. And of course Max Mustard. Okay, Max Mustard is a game I'm absolutely been looking forward to for a very long time. Since it was announced, I've been looking for a platformer for a long time. So once again, scratching that Nintendo, Sega itch, and Astrobot, all those types of things. So really want to have. I'm really hoping that this lives up to the hype. Be getting access pretty soon, and I'm excited to to see what it do. See what it do. Lawnmower
All
simulator, man. Come on.
I mean, you answered my question. I was going to ask if you cut your own grass, but you say you pay someone to cut your grass, so you can do it in VR.
Yeah, I'm not looking
Okay.
for it.
All right, Marty, what are you excited about?
I think for me, I think Max Mustard looks great. Because like I said, I do want a platformer because I have been fiending for one. Still kind of scratched that Super Mario 3D World itch, but I think Max Mustard gonna hit really good. I think other than that, I think that's it for me. Really, I don't really ain't got much that I'm really excited for right now.
That's telling. That's really telling too.
But it's like it's always pretty slow, like news wise
Yeah,
for
and
this time of year.
GDC's coming, so it's gonna be a lot of announcements
Yeah.
around that time.
So I'm chilling. Oh, contractors need to play that.
Showdown.
I have played. Yes, I have
Showdown.
played the Showdown beta. Marty, did you get in this weekend?
I didn't have time to play this weekend, man. I wanted to play so bad. I just didn't have time.
I have now played.
Man, Marty's like a grown up.
Yeah.
Man, what's happening over there?
Look, all of us supposed to be the older
cuts his
ones,
grass for
and he's the one.
Yeah, for real.
He's the one doing all the work.
He cut his grass for real. He ain't doing it in VR. He got this.
And it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. But yeah, but I think contractors that I think that's gonna be something special once it like fully comes out. So I'm excited to get into that this weekend. Hopefully.
Yeah. Until the next shooter comes along, and everyone will jump to that because that's.
Oh, you already know.
So you guys are not Ghost of Tabor fans on here? Okay.
It's not a matter of that. It's just a matter of there's a new shooter. So we must run to the new shooter because that's how VR goes, where they just run to the new shooter. I haven't heard a blip about Ghost of Tabor in the weekend.
I need to play. I still haven't played it. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
But having said that, they're very, very different games. One's a battle royale, one's an extraction shooter. They could not be more different.
Yeah.
But especially in VR, like shooter fans will flock to any game that has guns. And then they just tend to hop around. So the stickiness of these games is something I question. But that's a whole different discussion. Sorry. Clay, what are you excited for?
So I kind of mentioned I'm definitely excited for Madison. I am one of those that I love a good story shooter. I love a good post-apocalyptic story shooter specifically. I'm also a huge horror fan. So the next three on my list that I'm excited for are Madison in VR, Resident Evil 4 in VR that I'm going to be playing, and then fingers crossed this game better be good, Metro Awakening. I hope. Vertigo Games, I'm looking at you.
Point to the camera. Point to the camera.
Please don't mess with these grab mechanics. Please.
It was so funny. In Clay's Nexus stream, the first thing he said was, "Look, I can grab something, then it works." What a shot from my last VR game.
Wild that I can pick up something with my hands. Metro Awakening.
Marty, what were you gonna say?
I forgot Zombie Army too. Yeah, I forgot about that one. I was excited for that. It's gonna be fire. What? I like that's like my favorite zombie games. I like Zombie Army. I'm sorry.
I would rather play getting us together.
I would rather do paint drying simulator in VR than shoot another.
You're gonna love Lawnmower Simulator, man. Come on.
I would rather play that than another zombie shooter. I'm so burned on zombie shooters now. It's not even funny. That might be another month where I just play nothing but zombie shooters and then run.
I do. I want you to play Arizona Sunshine too.
Why do you hate me? I thought we were friends.
I hate you less because I was going to buy you Madison in VR and you said, "Oh no, don't worry about it, Clay. I got it." Something to that effect.
Yeah. I've seen the whole game. So okay, all right. What am I excited for? Y'all name most of them. Metro, because like everyone else here, I love a good story-based shooter. Max Mustard, of course, because my heart is in platformers. That's what I grew up on. That's what I love them. I love them. I am tentatively excited about Behemoth. I say tentatively because
know anything about Behemoth?
Okay, I am a medieval fantasy guy. Give me medieval fantasy in any game, I'm automatically interested.
Great.
There's a game like this offline game we'll talk about in a minute once we end this podcast. But it was made by the same people who made Saints and Sinners. And Saints and Sinners 2 made me want to punch things. Not because of how the story or anything. I thought the story was actually phenomenal in that game.
Yeah.
But the execution was a mess.
Yeah.
Was an absolute mess. I played that game from the day it came out, start to finish on Quest, and I ran into so many game-breaking bugs that I just kind of pushed through and got through it because
it was pretty rough.
It was rough. You played on PSVR 2 months later and still ran into the same crap.
Yeah.
Even at the end of the game.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't talk about it. That's a whole other podcast.
Wild. Yeah, about the state of broken games releasing. That might be that. There's our discussion. Broken games. broken games in the need for game testing. But yeah, Behemoth, Max Mustard, and then there's some games that I can't talk about because they're not publicly known knowledge. So, probably in like 2 months I could talk about those. But that's gonna be it. We got a hard out, and it's in like 2 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up. JDun, where can we find you?
Yeah, man, you can find me on Getting Things Done YouTube channel with my lovely wife Joy Rain, as well as JDunRRP on all social medias, and of course right here with the fam.
And
right.
Marty Dude VR,
Marty?
I got the DP VR E4 review coming this week.
Hey,
Little interesting thing right there. Not gonna lie, but Marty Dude VR all socials.
All right.
Hey,
Clay?
call me Clay. Find me on Twitch. Every Saturday we do VR for our SAT VR days, Saturday. And so find me there on Twitch. Hey, call me Clay. We're playing right now Assassin's Creed Nexus, probably a couple more streams of those, and then we'll be swapping into some horror. So excited for that.
I'm at Live Open Mic, Twitch, YouTube, X. Come yell at me about my choice of roguelike games or anything else you want to let me about. I'm going to put out a take that I'm sick of zombie games in VR, just piss off the community again. So can yell at me there. And I'm community manager for 3 Pound Games under my government name. Check us out. That's 3 Pound Games, 3LB Games on all socials, 3poundgames.com. All right. So that's it. We're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back in a couple of weeks with something. Don't know what. I said there will be a new video on the channel at least every 2 weeks. So it won't be the full crew, but it'll be 2 of us, 3 of us rapping about something. Then we'll be back with the full pod back over in April. Right, take care. Thanks for watching.
peace.
Peace.
Peace.